All right, you all know why we're here and what we came to do this year. This is only the beginning of a very long season, but Game 1 means just as much as Game 82. Now, we have some new faces here that I really expect to make an impact for us this season. We've already seen flashes of what they can do for us, but I expect all of you to go out there and execute just like we did in camp. Ain't no more excuses. It's time to get serious. If we play our brand of basketball, there's no telling where this team can go. So get out there, get warm, and let's go win this game.
My first NBA game. Can't believe it's finally here. You work your entire life for something, and then when it's right in front of you, it's almost hard to believe. But I'm ready. And now it's time for me to show everybody I belong.
Starting at small forward, standing 6'8", number 5, Damari Carroll. The other forward, at 6'9", number 4, Luis Scola. The big man in the middle. He's a 7-foot center from Lithuania. This is Jonas Valanciunas. And number 10, he's a 6'7" guard from USC. Ladies and gentlemen, DeMar DeRozan. From Villanova, a 6-foot guard, number 7, Kyle Lowry. Your head coach is Dwayne Casey. Ladies and gentlemen, your Toronto Raptors.
This is it. Opening day. The regular season is set to begin, and we're thrilled to bring you all the live action right here on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan alongside Greg Anthony and Clark Kellogg with Doris Burke reporting from the sideline. Now for the Raptors. Biombo, he's checked in for Jonas Valanciunas. Johnson comes in for Luis Scola. Terrence Ross is checked in for Damari Carroll. And Corey Joseph subbed in for Kyle Lowry. And stepping out onto the floor now for his very first official NBA playing time, we're going to check out our first glimpse of professional basketball from Freak.
You know, and what a huge moment this is for him. I mean, your whole life has been spent leading up to the...
And that does it for the first quarter. Pacers lead by 7. We'll be back shortly live from the Air Canada Center in downtown Toronto. Well, earlier we sat down with Freak.
You know, I've thought about this moment my entire life. Now that it's finally here, the feeling's pretty crazy. But I know it's just the beginning. I got a lot of hard work ahead of me to get to where I want to go, to be the best player and the best teammate I can be. But this is an exciting first step, no doubt.
You know, Clark, you don't see that kind of perspective from most rookies, do you?
You really don't, Kevin. I mean, I really like his approach to the game. What remains to be seen, though, is will that translate to consistent production on the court.
And now the second quarter just getting set to start. And before we move on, what do you guys think about what we've seen so far from the Pacers?
I tell you what, defensively, they have been in tune with one another as intense as I've seen.
Yeah, nice job helping out on the rotations and drives, doing really good work at the defensive end.
We've got DeRozan. Bismack Biyombo is out there with Johnson. Then it's Terrence Ross, and it's Joseph in at the point. That's the group for Toronto to start the second quarter. And guys, we saw a nice development for James Johnson last year. He was 59% from the floor. The closest he had ever come to that in his 6 years was 46%. What a dramatic Clark improvement there.
Yeah, and I think it was all due to shot selection. He dialed back on the number of threes that he was taking the year before, and his percentage went up.
And boy, did he ever sell the pump fake. Worked to absolute perfection.
Move the ball.
Now here's Stuckey, guarded closely. Fader on the way, and the shot is good, dropping in off the front of the rim. Freak makes the bucket, an important momentous occasion for this young guy, getting his first points in an NBA uniform. And Joseph kicks to Johnson. Low block shot on the way. Hill pulls it in. Indiana leading by 9. Out left to the wing. Pick up by Hill. And it's out of bounds. The Raptors will take it the other way.
You always want a player to have his head up and to be surveying the court, but not if that's going to be the result.
A new group in now for the Raptors. Valanciunas, he's checked in for Bismack Biyombo. Scola comes in for Johnson. Damari Carroll's checked in for DeMar DeRozan. And it's Lowry in for Ross. George is checked in for Indiana. Hill comes in for Rodney Stuckey.
Playing smart offensively in the first half, no doubt about it.
Yeah, the numbers support it. I mean, they're shooting the much better percentage from the field so far.
Lowry dishes to Scola. The shot's good on the assist by Lowry.
I like the fact that he led his teammate right to the ideal spots. You don't always throw it to your teammate. You throw it to where he needs to be.
Freak kicks to Hill. Now here's Freak, guarded by Scola, and that one's good. Freak. And here we see the debut of Freak, the kid from Harlem, on an NBA floor. And Clark, it's a moment that he's worked very hard to achieve, and his family has got to be proud.
Extremely so, Kevin. It's been a long journey for him, but every level along the way, he's found success. High school phenom.
And we finish one half. We're getting back to the action now. It's been a one-team show so far. Some changes for Indiana. Jordan Hill, he's checked in for Turner. Freak comes in for Allen. And it's Solomon Hill in for Ellis.
You know, Dwayne Casey was once a player at Kentucky, took me and hosted me on my recruiting visit at Kentucky back in 1979. Actually got his coaching start at the school as well.
On the court right now for the Pacers. Freak in at the 4 spot. George Hill out there with Hill. Then it's Paul George, and it's Hill in at the center position. Here's Freak. So the whistle blows on the shot, and 2 free throws for the contact right there. As we're talking about Coach Dwayne Casey, he's found his place in Toronto. Took them, Greg, to back-to-back postseason appearances.
And, you know, it's good to see him finally establishing himself as a head coach. He's really known as a defensive specialist, but once he gets in charge of a team, he'll have them focused on defense and really stresses that in every practice.
Well, with Freak Clark, there was a question whether he would stay another year in college. Really was a tough decision for him, but he ended up coming out after his freshman year.
And, Kevin, it's really hard to blame a guy like Freak for doing that. I mean, he's clearly NBA ready, and he's putting a lot at risk for every year he stays in school when he could be on the NBA clock.
Here's DeRozan. Raptors get it back. Scola passes to Valanciunas. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
Yeah, good job to take it right at
the Yeah, really loves it.
For the Raptors, Damari Carroll's checked in for Bismack Biyombo. DeRozan comes in for James Johnson. And it's Kyle Lowry in for Joseph. Indiana also making some changes. Freak comes in for Mahinmi. Young is subbed in for Rodney Stuckey. Lowry and DeRozan are the guard tandem. Damari Carroll is out there with Terrence Ross. And it's Valanciunas in at the 5, roaming the paint. So that's the 5 in the game for Toronto. He was all alone on that one.
First 3 of the half, second of the game. Can he heat up?
And there's the pass to Miles. Now here's Freak. He's covered closely. Outside Hill. Clock at 6. Trying his luck deep. That's good.
What a final quarter these guys are having from downtown, just burying the threes in bunches.
And they might as well keep going back to the well. No reason not to. I mean, work that perimeter. It's going good for you. Work it until it stops.
And one team is just completely outclassing the other tonight. Spirited performance, and it really ignited what is turning out to be a monster win here for the Pacers.
And this was one that never really was in doubt, I thought, Stephen Clark. An all-around dominant performance. Clark, and you kind of thought that maybe even going into the game.
I certainly did, and they just cracked it open and made it an NC. No contest.
Yeah, I like that. And it'll go down as their first official win of the new year.
And against a conference opponent, always good to take that first win of the season series to establish a psychological edge.
Especially because they're going to get together 3 more times this season, Greg. You love to get an opponent figured out early, and you're going to be seeing them that often.
And what a huge standout performance it was for Hill. He was extremely efficient offensively, got good looks, and really knocked down big shots all game long.
Patrick Patterson, he's checked in for Jonas Valanciunas. Well, last year Toronto won their division and got bounced out in the first round. Same result, Clark, they had back in 2014.
Yeah, but you know, despite that sameness, they were an improved team last season, Kevin. They did a lot of the small things better in total, and I thought looked better and more cohesive as a group.
Joseph dishes to Johnson. Nice D from Freak.
And you saw how quick the defense was. They were ready for him. They got the hand in the face there and made that much more difficult.
Yeah, and every team needs that kind of rugged interior defense because you want to try to distract your opponents when they get inside, and you also want to make them uncomfortable in their shot attempts.
So no problem for Indiana as they get
the 2K Sports postgame show.
Welcome back, Ernie Johnson, along with Shaq and Kenny the Jet.